Hydration is another thing that most people overlook. I know both of us have been drinking. I want to show you something.
This is too much coffee, so I'll probably get yelled at because it's dehydrating me. But yeah,
so that's actually, I was hoping maybe you just had water in there, but I mean,
this is definitely so. Ashley, I have a few things that are just guilty pleasures. I love my mid-afternoon espresso. I do.
So you can have that espresso as long as it doesn't disrupt your sleep.
I don't do anything after like 3 or 4 because after that it disrupts my sleep.
So one thing about caffeine, though, it actually affects sleep on both ends. So because it has an 18-hour half-life, what you're drinking now is still in your body for like over a day.
My gosh.
So it is impacting, it causes your body to go into a higher state of stress. So your like baseline stress is higher anytime you do drink caffeine. Same with alcohol. For 24 hours after one alcoholic beverage, you are in a higher state of stress, and we can measure that with heart rate variability.
Interestingly for me, like, and I don't know if I'm weird or whatever, so I'll be 37 in a couple months, and I found after 30, if I had one drink, my body didn't recover well. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of like, I'll stop drinking alcohol. So for me, like I've just cut out alcohol because I sleep better and feel better.
Yeah. And actually it was impacting you in your 20s and in your teenage years, but your other stressors hadn't added up. So to the body, stress is stress, whether it's mold exposure, eating processed foods, lack of nutrients, which is a big stressor, emotional stress, spiritual stress, short-term and long-term stress. Your thoughts can stress you out. Everything to the body is just like a bucket of stress. And for the body, your body's either in fight or flight or rest and digest. So if you have stress, your body's more likely hairpin trigger, like about to jump into fight or flight. When we get into our 30s, we just kind of accumulated. The bucket of stress is almost full, right? And we drink some alcohol, take too many shots of espresso, and now it's overflowing. And now we're like hairpin trigger stress. So I would watch that when you drink coffee in the afternoon. I would just notice this. Do you tend to wake up earlier in the morning? Like, can you sleep in? Or do you feel like your sleep is disrupted? Because it affects it on both ends. It makes it so that we have problems falling asleep, but then we also might sleep a shorter term and not get all that sleep the body wanted. So if you do, for example, let's say you decide to go on vacation and not do coffee, you go cold turkey, you might have a coffee withdrawal headache for a little bit.
They're so bad though. I hate them.
I know. But like as an experiment, if you did decide to do that, you may notice that you sleep longer. And that's a sign that you have some adrenal exhaustion, and that's something to work on to support the adrenal system. One thing that can help that, though, is to make sure you're fully hydrated. So I want to point out what I have here. I have some, these are just bands that I have on my water bottle. And we can calculate how much you want to make sure you're drinking. So I'm sure you've heard the term when you take your body weight. So just to make the math easy, let's say the listener's 200 pounds. And I apologize if you're not. But a 200-pound listener, you take the pounds and you divide it in half, so 100, and then you put little ounces after that. So if you're 200 pounds, you drink 100 ounces a day, but you're not going to chug that. I want you to finish it by dinner time, so you can have enough time to pee before bed, right? So we want to stay fully hydrated. And in addition to that 100 ounces, every time you drink a caffeinated beverage, something sugary, if you sweat because you're going in a sweat lodge or sauna, or you're exercising, or you live in Vegas. And
it is deceptively hot in Vegas, by the way. Like everything looks like you can keep walking. You'll get there in 5 minutes, and that's not true.
And because you don't feel yourself sweat, because it's leaving your body, you're getting dehydrated really, really fast because it's the climate. So you have to know what your climate's like. If you're in you got to drink more if you're not in a humid climate. So what we do is we drink another 8 ounces or so for each of these issues, because for every ounce of caffeine, you lose 2 ounces of water, of hydration. So if you just drink, a 12-ounce cup, you need to now drink 24 ounces of water to make up for it. But let's say this 200-pound person doesn't drink any of those, we call like vices, for example, that dehydrate the body. They would then want to do 4 of these a day. So they have 4 bands, and then every time they finish one, they move a band up and then refill it and do it again. And hopefully they're drinking filtered water. I
noticed that's a glass bottle too. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's a mason jar.
My wife does the same thing. Every time we go to the Habitat for Humanity store, she's always looking for like the glass drinking bottles people have gotten rid of.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. So I actually do recommend going to the thrift store. You can get, stainless steel or whatever if you don't, because I have dropped a few of these, which is a little embarrassing. But I love the feeling of drinking out of glass. I like looking at my water. I don't know. This is just how it motivates me to drink more. But I would say stainless steel if you're traveling. Here's a little tidbit. Because you look around, most people aren't carrying a water bottle with them, in the
Right.
workplace, or, you're looking at people getting on a bus.
Or
Most
something I used to do in my 20s was I was a competitive powerlifter, so I would carry around like a jug of plastic water, not good for
Right,
you at all with all the
right,
BPAs you're pulling in.
right. Yeah. So that's why I say, glass, stainless steel, anything that's not plastic, but good that you are carrying it with you. Because if you don't carry your water with you, you are dehydrated. Because there is
Mhm.
no way that you're drinking, 12 ounces of water an hour from the moment you wake up till dinner time. And that's what you've got to be doing is 8 to 12 ounces of water every hour, or more, depending on if you are doing activities like drinking coffee that dehydrate you. So why is this so important?